And welcome to Soulbirth here on Edge Radio Australia. It's absolutely my pleasure to have this lovely young lady over there. She's over there today.
I'm over here.
We've set some distance. Yeah, a bit of some rules on this one. No, I'm kidding. I might have the lurgy. I'm just saying, right?
Not.
Well, geez, a bit infectious. You never know, right? You just don't know. But of course, that lovely lady I'm speaking about, it's Faye Suzanne, of course, from Soulbirth.
Morning, Aaron. How are you today?
I'm rather. I'm here. I'm
here.
Charged up. I have got a subject in front of me, which I think is going to pick us all up today. I think it's a really good subject.
Yep.
And I think it flows on really well from last week when we're talking about legacy.
It does, indeed, yes.
But I've had to go to cheat sheet. I've got a piece of paper here because anybody who knows anything about me knows that if I can butcher the pronunciation of a word, I will, right?
You will.
So I've got this word here, which is a Japanese word, which I'm going to give it a go. Okay. I'm going to give it a go. No, okay. So I'll first I've got to focus, make sure that the eyes actually work. All right, let's have a look. Can I say it? Is it Ikigai?
Ikigai, yeah.
Close enough?
Ikigai.
Ikigai. Okay,
Yes.
You say it much better. Would you like to say it so that we can actually understand it?
Well, Ikigai, yes, it's a Japanese art. I'll tell you, it's actually discovering the Japanese secret to a long and happy life with the internationally best-selling guide. This is of Ikigai.
A bestseller?
This is actually a book that I picked up years ago, which I've used myself. I love it to bits because it helps you to actually hone in on what is your passion in life.
So important. Many people live their life with two major problems in my eyes, right? Yep. They lack passion, and passion's damn important, right?
Yeah.
Okay, honestly, think back to your first girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever the case may be, like how wild it was, that how intense it all was. Like, that's a cool feeling. And if you can get even a little sample of that through the rest of your life, it's a pretty good thing. So passion is important.
Yeah, well, if we can live our life with passion, it gives you a reason to get out of bed in the morning, doesn't it?
Absolutely, 100% agree with you. And the other thing that I was going to say was, as far as your purpose. Everybody needs a purpose.
Oh, we do.
Yeah, we all need a why. And again, if you don't have that, you kind of bounce around and you don't sort of hit the mark. So
exactly. Because how many times do you find people that work all their life and then when they retire, they've had nothing else going on outside of work, and so when they stop working, it's like, what do I do now? I've got no purpose in life. That's all I've known my whhole life is working all week, and then they've got no hobbies, nothing, and then they quite often end up having a shortened life because they don't have anything to continue with. They don't have any purpose.
That's right. Yeah, you're spot on that one. Most people were living. I mean, this is ridiculous, but this is actually government stuff. People were living 7 years after retirement. Okay, that's actually literally what people plan for.
Really sad.
Yeah,
time when you can finally be free to go and do things and actually do what you've been passionate about. But if you've got nothing driving you to actually go out and do anything, no purpose, no passion, then what are you going to do?
What are you going to do? Yeah. And I had this little conversation with myself on the drive in today, right?
Did you?
I did. Now,
must have been tuning into the show again already.
Must be. I tell you right now, getting into my head. But okay, like the old joke about when, the guy finally, he works hard all of his entire life and he saves and he eventually buys that Ferrari, okay? And then he drives along at, 40 kilometres an hour in his Ferrari.
40 kilometres an hour in a Ferrari.
Exactly, and can't get in.
Sacrilege.
It is sacrilege. And but because he didn't treat himself to it early, right? And it was passionate about it and he wanted it. But he just, didn't pay himself the wage, if you like,
exactly.
For his own passion. And why I had that conversation with myself is I want to get a promotional car for Edge. Okay,
oh, do you?
I do. And I was thinking about, I want something cool, I want something retro, I want something that's not
makes a statement.
So
everybody stops and looks and says, that is the Edge car.
Boom, exactly right. Now, a car that I've always wanted, which I've never had a road one, and anyway, even back in the day when I could afford it, I was younger and it was practical or whatever, or it was never practical, is a beach buggy.
Oh, right, beach buggies are great.
I love a beach buggy, right? Now, I had off-road ones, but I never had one that you drive to work every day, okay? But, okay, what I'm getting at is then I had the practical thing of, okay, oh, hang on. I'm in my 50s now.
No.
How do I slide in and out of a beach buggy? There's no doors. And then I thought to myself, have I left that too late, right?
Oh.
Where I'm going on all of this is passion in life, right?
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Now that's something I really wanted when I was younger.
Yeah, exactly.
And whether it's something physical, whether it's a trip that you should have had, whether it's something some personal growth that you wanted,
So you're not putting it off until tomorrow if you can do it today.
Damn straight.
Enjoy life to the fullest while you still can.
Yeah.
Exactly. And because so many times throughout life, I've known people that have, put off all those things that they want to do until retirement.
Yeah.
But then they don't make it to retirement.
Right.
Life gets cut short, and then they never got to enjoy that time at all.
So true. And I thought today I was driving along and I was thinking to myself, okay, the beach buggy idea, which I still love, I'm still into. But I thought,
do it, Aaron.
The hips don't lie. I mean, I might struggle.
Song about that.
Oh, funny that. I might have trouble getting in and out of it. And I might look like a 90-year-old man when I do it. So,
That I'd love to see. See, that could provide entertainment.
It really could. It really could. But, yeah.
Could be a video moment.
I can just see myself becoming a meme, but there we go.
Yeah,
but anyway, well, let's jump into it because passion is very important.
Exactly.
Life purpose is very important. So,
and we spoke about that last week when we were talking about legacy, about not leaving, not putting off until it's too late to do what it is that you're passionate about, and knowing that we do have an end date at some point. We just don't know when it is, but it does allow us the freedom to choose right now in this moment to live our life to the fullest. So, what is it that you're here for?
Yeah.
Trying to think about, like, what is my sole purpose? Why was I put on this earth? And even if you don't have to get that deep and meaningful, but what is it that, like, makes you live in a state of joy? Like, what really brings that passion out? And joy is the thing that keeps you in that high vibrational state, so that you attract all good things to you as well.
I agree. Well, I'm having no joy kind of understanding what our question is. Or actually, it's not really a question. It's more of a comment here from the World Wide Awake Business Network. Awesome people.
Awesome.
Get on board with them. But they've put the comment through, oh, no. I'd love to know what that's in reference to. Is that a reference to me falling out of a beach buggy? I don't know. But, I love the interaction. So if that if that's Lisa, can you just
hi, Lisa,
can you give me another comment and let me know what that's all about? That'd be fantastic. Do love the interaction. So don't be shy.
And I'll give you some reflections today too, that we'd love some feedback from the, whoever's listening.
Cool.
To drop some comments in. Like, if you know what your passion is, if you've already found your passion, you know what it is, you're living it, drop it in the comments. And I'd love to know what your passion is. But this Ikigai that we mentioned is, I've got to tell you about this. If you've never heard of it,
no,
I'm not sure
never.
How many of the listeners have heard about Ikigai, but it's a really wonderful thing to know about, because
Ikigai, it sounds like just a sticky fella.
Yeah, it's like one of those rubber things that you throw at the wall. It sounds like that, doesn't it?
It does a bit, doesn't it?
But it's not.
No?
It's actually a lot more in depth than that. But like, the people of Japan believe that everyone has an Ikigai, so a reason to jump out of bed in the morning. And I do agree, because like, if you don't feel passionate about what you're doing in life, if you're working in a job where you just like, it's dull and monotonous and you don't even enjoy it, you don't love getting out of bed to go to work, what's the point? Yeah, exactly. What's the point?
Yeah.
And that's where people get depressed. They sit in bed thinking, I don't want to do this. This is like same old. It's like, Groundhog Day, getting up, going, doing the same thing all the time, but nothing new to get excited about. So what is it that brings you alive? So, have a think about, even back to your childhood, what were the things that you loved as a child that actually, that you just loved doing, that made you feel really connected? I know cars are your thing. Cars
just made me happy. First word I ever said.
Yeah, exactly.
No joke.
And it always was, and you totally lived that, didn't you?
Yeah,
you got into car racing, and even now you're always talking about cars. So we know what your Ikigai is.
Yeah, but it's different for everyone, obviously, and but it's important to have one.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's not just what your passion is. So Ikigai is actually really interesting, because it comes up with you draw this diagram. So you've got 4 circles. So you do a large one at the top, one at the bottom, and then one either side. And it's where they intersect, where all the things come together. That is your Ikigai. And so the 4 parts are, so first one is, what do you love? So the first top circle you fill out with what you love. So you just do a brain dump of all the things that you love.
Okay.
So,
and you put them all in the circle?
Yeah. So you can write them all in the circle or on a list. It doesn't matter. But, the circles are really great, because it's a visual of how they all intertwine. Okay. So all the things that you love. So it could be car racing. It could be sleeping in, or it could be, but, on the radio, different things.
I'm just wondering if you could have a passion about sleeping in.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Yes, pinpoint. That's my goal for the week, is to get one sleep in. If I can achieve that, then the rest of the week is good.
Well, and that's an interesting point. Like, I sort of joke about it, but at the same time, Okay, your goals and your passions don't have to be like this ridiculously lofty ambitions.
No.
They can be very simple things that bring you pleasure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, in my childhood, I used to love nothing more than laying out on the back lawn, just looking at the leaves, in the breeze.
Yeah.
Something so simple, but that's connection with nature, and that's one of my passions now too. Is like I love getting out in nature and hiking and camping and all of that stuff. But even bringing in nature, connecting with nature, because it connects us with our true nature as well. When you're in nature, you've got more clarity about who you are as well.
Agreed.
Yeah. So something simple like that could be your thing, and that's in what you love. And then you have another circle, which is all about, what you're good at, because, what you love, might not necessarily be good at, or it might not be a, thing that you're going to thrive in.
Sure.
However, you've got another circle that you put what you're good at. So you might have particular gifts in an area, like talking.
I don't know if that's a
or
gift.
Racing or whatever.
Yeah.
So you put all those things in there. Again, you do a brain dump of all the ideas of what you're good at in life. And it doesn't have to be professional stuff. It can be, what you're good at, singing or music or driving or, or whatever, healing work or whatever it is.
Yep. But I actually, on that point though, it can be things that you're passionate about that you might not necessarily be naturally good at.
Yep. Exactly.
Well, guess what? You can work hard, and it's you can naturally practice and be good at these things. So,
exactly.
You might not be a natural, cricket player, right? But you get out there and you practice and practice, and you can become one, right?
Learn a skill and practice a skill and become good at it.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But it's good how it separates things out into all these different circles, and then you see where they overlap.
Sure.
And find out what. Because your Ikigai is the part at the center where all things come together.
Okay.
So another circle is about, what the world needs. So,
I thought it was love, sweet love. Isn't that? Come on.
Well, love makes the world go round, and that is exactly what the world needs at the moment, isn't it? More love.
It needs so much, doesn't it? Yeah.
So, anchoring love into the earth at the moment is great. So anything you can do that actually, it brings in love, and that can be in multiple ways. It can be just, not just having a radio show where you're actually bringing people together and, keeping things positive, that's actually anchoring love into the planet, because you're actually raising the frequency again, bringing joy to people.
Bringing joy to people is a really, I don't know, it's almost like it's an understated thing that people almost are embarrassed to do. Like, how good is it when you can actually bring something positive to another person?
Oh, absolutely. Right? Yeah. And that is definitely something that the world needs right now. So, that can go into that circle. It might be in multiple circles. So, this is where you're coming closer to the, what is your Ikigai?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and then the final circle down the bottom is actually, what you get paid for. So, what kind of jobs can you do that you can earn money? So it might be, profession that you have, or, your job that you're going to every day, whether you like it or not. It's, something that you can do, what skills you have that can get paid.
I'm a very, very big believer in doing the things you're passionate about for a living. Okay.
Me too.
If whenever possible. I mean, obviously not always in life. That's the path that you can take. Obviously you've got responsibilities. Children, have very expensive mortgages, all these sorts of things. Wives are very expensive. No. That might take you on a path where you're just working to earn money and you lose a lot of your soul that way.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Which is why this is so important, because this actually highlights those things, because, yes, you can earn money doing it, but is it your passion? So this is where you look at, you still write it down. So you might be working in a mundane job that you hate, or but it still goes in what you earn money for, but does it actually fill the other areas as well? And
it also might feed the beast, like from the point of view of you might do a job that you hate, but it earns good money, and therefore you're able to spend money on your hobbies, for example, which brings you joy. So misdirected. Am I missing the point?
No definitely. So that's where they overlap. So you might have two circles that overlap. And so there's a commonality there. And so so you have your profession is where you it's the job that you do because you earn money, but you're also good at it. So that can be your profession.
Cool. Okay. Now I'm with you. Okay.
And then where they overlap, where two circles overlap, they have a particular area of life that they serve.
Okay.
But where all four of them come together, so you've got that very centerpiece, that's your Ikigai, that's your passion. So if you've got something that falls into all four circles, and then you absolutely love doing it, like it serves the world, and you're really good at it and you can earn money doing it, go do it. That's your Ikigai.
You've just won the lottery, right? Right there. Okay. And how many of us can say that? It's a hard thing to achieve.
It is. And unless you actually can look at life like that and actually think, oh, yeah, that's a really good point, because if you're missing one element of that, like if it doesn't pay, you're doing all this, like this is, I've done this for years, you're doing volunteer work because you're filling the three of them, but you're not actually the paid part of it.
Sure.
So you get depleted after a while. It's great, like doing volunteer work, because it fills your soul, you feel on purpose and all of that. Well,
you get paid, your soul gets paid.
It does. Energetic. It's an energetic payment, but it doesn't pay the bills.
No, it doesn't.
So, at some point you feel a bit depleted if you're too much in that area but not getting paid. So you've got to find a balance.
Agreed.
Because you can still do that, but you got to balance it as well.
Feel like this just became a therapy session for me.
I'm on the therapy couch. Maybe it's my therapy.
Yeah. Lay down, get comfy.
Exactly.
Why not? Absolutely. Look, I think just life purpose and actually narrowing it down to what actually you are passionate about, what you care about. The people in your life, if you can bring joy and positivity to them through it, is always a positive thing. So,
absolutely,
it's just it's a mindset, right?
Oh, totally.
It really, in very simple terms,
it is a mindset, but it's also about tuning into yourself as well, that. And what feels right in your body. Yeah, like we know when we go slightly off course, if we've lost the passion in life, it's like, why have we lost the passion? Like which area of life are we missing? And so this is where I love, all the different things that I do with the feng shui as well, can help, look at those sectors of your life to see, what's lacking in your home front in the sectors.
Yeah.
Also, if you're meditating, like tuning in, like where is it that I'm feeling off center? Is there something going on physically in your life that's throwing you off center, or are you kind of just forgetting to take care of yourself, because that's a big one at the moment, self-care.
I agree with that.
Are you getting enough sleep? Are you eating properly? All those things, because if they're out of whack, then you're going to kind of come off course, and then you're not feeling 100%.
No. It is hard to run life with the batteries are a bit down.
It is.
Hey, strange question. You love your feng shui. You love your, what's it called again?
Ikigai.
There you go. You clearly have an affinity with Japanese culture there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Have you noticed that yourself, or am I bringing this to you for the first time?
Well, feng shui is Chinese.
Oh, okay. Well, then clearly, no, I'm just an idiot. All right.
But that's all right. I'm very eclectic. I like little bits of, I take little bits from different cultures, because, I love so many things about, that the world offers from all different areas. So I love the feng shui. Japanese do a similar thing. It's not called feng shui. I can't even remember the name of it, but they do a similar form of it.
A Japanese friend of mine many, many, many years ago, they claimed feng shui, right, as Japanese things. So they fibbed to me. Look at that. There you go. But okay. So no, I mean, why I asked that is, I mean, obviously, different cultures, I don't know, kind of, you find yourself drawn to different cultures. So I find that very interesting, and a lot of Asian countries particularly, they really lean on the spiritual stuff, which
is probably why I'm drawn a lot to that, because India and and Nepal, or the Himalayas, China,
all of
Chinese
that area,
culture, some of it, and Japanese. I'm drawn to a lot of the different art forms from there. So,
well, there was a study done about a long time ago now, in the early 80s now, that actually stated that they did analysis of people from all around the world, and dream analysis as well. They put the probes on people's heads and that sort of thing. And they found that the people of India into Nepal and that sort of zone specifically were the most in tune spiritual people in the world.
Oh yeah, and it's a beautiful area of the world. Like when I've been up there, I felt so at home there, because probably like-minded, I guess, because everybody is deeply spiritual. It's a beautiful place to be, and you're surrounded by magnificent mountains where you just feel connected with Mother Earth, and because that's my thing as well. I'm very into Gaia, Mother Earth, and helping her rebirth herself at the moment, which is happening on the planet.
It's definitely happening.
It is. So I just love being around mountains and fresh air and the forests and close to nature, because I really connect in with.
It's very interesting on that front, because obviously we've got a lot of different shows here at Edge, and we were talking about was she doing a show yesterday, The Greater Wealth, which is a finance where finance and politics collide. And we were talking about, quite frankly, there's a rebirth right now of the earth in in that spectrum.
Oh,
right?
absolutely.
It's just happening on every single
level.
plane.
It is.
Yeah,
'cause
which
this
is
the
fascinating
time.
to see.
It is.
And very encouraging. Like, if you're looking for positivity,
Yeah.
that's a pretty good one.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And this is why I'm always drawing parallels to birth. Of course.
Yeah.
But, this is the thing, that we are rebirthing at the moment, not just ourselves individually going through rebirth, but, humanity as a whole is, as we can tell by what's going on in the world,
Most
and
definitely.
also Mother Earth is. And so what's happening out there, I've also referred to in other shows, is that, as Mother Earth is rebirthing, it's like she's going through a birth process. And so we've been going through the transition phase where everything is chaos. When a woman is in that transitional phase, it's when she kind of might lose it a bit and, start wanting a cesarean if she wasn't planning it. And she's starting to feel the intensity of it because the baby's about to come, especially when that head's down there and nearly crowning and stuff. And this is like the most intense part. And so that's what's happening on the planet, is that right now, all the commotion, all the chaos and that, it's like that nearly birth, we're just about there, but it's the most intense period.
It's a brilliant analogy. It really is. Right now, I mean, look, seriously, the Earth needs gas. Okay, it really does. Maybe an epidural. I don't know.
Breathe through it. See, I'm into natural birth. This is where we need to learn to breathe through it, surrender to the process, and allow. When we talk about hypnobirthing, it's just actually being fully surrendered to the process and go with it rather than fighting against it. And so,
time to calm the farm.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot we can do on an individual level, but a lot of it is actually, tuning into ourselves and actually breathing through this moment, allowing this to move, because a lot of what's happening is outside of our control. Very and getting true. Upset and worried about outside things that are going on is only makes us more stressed and angry and upset, which I think is probably part of the narrative. So if we can not allow it to affect us that way, because it's like being in a hospital birth when, if you've got everybody telling you trauma, if you don't do this, your baby will die, blah, 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 the things they like to throw at you because it's fear-based.
Of course.
And if you buy into that, then you tense up. And then the pain comes on, and then you are more likely to, go more into fear. It keeps this vicious cycle going.
It is truly a brilliant analogy, because so many of my friends and colleagues are going through a bit of a rough time at the moment, because obviously events of the last short period of time, which we won't go into, but I think we all know what I'm talking about. What it's done, okay, is tension and drama and tragedy on the other side of the world is affecting people here, and you're bringing it into your own personal life.
That's right.
Because you're feeling that trauma, and then you tense up and you
get angry. It's inciting anger in each individual.
And you don't. It's not allowing you to actually live your life or experience the joy and the positive things, because you're like a steel trap. You're kind of you
exactly, which is why I'm saying, it's about breathing. Just more now more than ever, we need to be meditating.
Okay, right.
Meditating or spending time in nature or on our own, and actually, breathing, doing breath work, allowing ourselves to actually just calm down and breathe and relax and open everything up, open the energetic pathways, because then we can't be affected so much by what's going on externally.
That's a great point. And I mean, look, we're here in Perth, Western Australia, and we're very, very lucky that Perth is surrounded with beautiful bushlands. Okay,
so we're very lucky here.
We really are. I mean, when you go other places in the world, you go, oh, hang on. Jeez.
Sometimes it's a bonus being in the most isolated city in the world, isn't it?
Ain't that the truth? It's so true. So, I mean, I can get in the car and drive, a relatively short amount of time, and I won't see anybody. I can just literally walk down a little trail or through the bush, and then just that quiet reconnection time is so damn important.
It is.
Get a bit of grass, get the toes between it, the other way around.
We knew what you meant.
You knew what I meant. It's such an important thing to do, and a lot of people are living in apartments these days. A lot of people live in multi-levels, all kind of carry on. Look, get out, find that grass, find those trees, find
bare
that
feet, especially with the spring weather now that it's was warming up and then it went cold again. We went back to winter, but anyway, with the nicer weather, get out there and take your shoes off and ground yourself, and and then breathe that beautiful light energy down through the earth and reconnect.
Look, every year people, when it comes to spring, everybody has these ideas of things that they're going to do, and there's great enthusiasm. I've never been one of those, spring, I better do the spring cleaning kind of routine. No. But when I'm actually taking this opportunity this year, I'm going, okay, the weather's going to be, when the weather becomes nice.
It does.
I've got this big list of things that some will get done, some won't get done, right? But I don't know. There's I'm really looking forward to the enthusiasm of being outside and creating outside, and that again. So yeah, I don't know. It might be something to take on board.
Yeah, well, I mean, and this is something that anybody can do, is just go outside and take a breath and connect with nature.
Yeah.
Perfect time of year to do that. But this is the time when it's great to find your Ikigai, because when you're in nature, when you're relaxed and that's when ideas flow, and you can reconnect and think, what do I enjoy doing? What does make me feel happy, make my heart sing? And, and is this something that I can maybe work at? Can I create an income from something that I love doing? Because what a difference if you're working in an area that you love. If you can earn money doing and survive just by doing something that you really love, and that also serves people, helps other people to feel good. Wouldn't that be amazing?
Well, it's not work.
No, it doesn't feel like work, does it?
No, and when you're required to work a couple of extra hours here or there, or an extra 30, all jokes aside, you don't mind. You get on with it because you're passionate. You're enjoying what you do. It's serving other people, as you say. So I mean, that can't be the same for everybody. But again, it's about finding. You find your purpose, find your life purpose, and if you can work these things into that as much as possible, it's a very positive thing. Now, where I was going to ask you, because I get visual, so in my head here, I can kind of see a variation of the Olympic rings here. All right, okay, with everything kind of crossing over, and with everything written in those little spaces. Yeah. Is that a visual way of some of you doing it? Like, do you have a guide? Like, or should we talk about lists, or should we get some circles going? I mean, what helps?
Well, if anybody wants to do this, you can just Google Ikigai. So it's Ikigai, Ikigai.
Yep.
And it does. I don't know if you can see that on the screen, but that's
it's a fair way away. But yeah, there we go. I can see it. There we go.
You can see it.
Yep.
There we go. But this is how you configure the circles.
Okay.
Simple little exercise, that you can do yourself. It looks a bit like a flower, really, when you do it. Yeah, and you can Google it and just see what the diagram looks like, and then you actually just go through a simple little exercise to actually come up with all your words for that and find your Ikigai.
There's a whole book on it there.
There is. And, I'm always happy to help people too if they ever want some help or guidance around finding their purpose, because then we can also work with tuning into their higher self and finding out what their soul purpose is as well, and overlay that with what their passions and gifts and things are that they're actually aware of. There might be some others hidden deeper that they're not even aware of. Tease them out.
That's so true, though. So often we kind of live at the superficial level and we don't really, really dig deep, do we? And find out what.
No, and sometimes too we minimize what our gifts are. We think that they're not important because the world, the way we've been programmed, is to think you have to be out there loud and proud and telling the world about what you do. But not everybody's like that. Not everybody wants to have all this attention and be front and center of everything. They're not extroverts. They're real introverts, and they like to do quiet things. And I've had this conversation with a few people this week actually, and someone who her strength is being a mother, because she says, well, I've never known what my purpose is or my passion. It's like I've never wanted to do anything more than raise my kids and be there for them, and the grandkids and stuff. And it's like, would you realize how important that is?
You just nailed it. You've absolutely nailed it.
Because there is no greater task than being a parent, to actually bring a child into this world consciously, and actually to be a good influence on that child, and to help them to turn out, as good human beings. We made a soul contract to bring these children in, and, to be an influence in their life, and to be able to hold space for children to be who they are and to love them unconditionally. There is no greater purpose.
There is no greater purpose. I would much rather say I spent my time with my children, I raised my children, I loved my children, I supported my children, than any amount of money you could put in my bank, or any title you can put after my name or letters or whatever. But I think that, and I'll bring up, one of the fundamental things that Charlie Kirk spoke about is the power of the family, and the greatest thing you can do is to marry and raise children. It's a very, very simple thing. And a lot of people think of it as just a bit of normality. No, it's an incredible privilege.
Yeah, exactly.
It's something that, you should put all your effort into and do very consciously.
Yeah, and this is part of my passion as well. It's part of my Ikigai is actually reminding people that, this is actually the most important thing in life, because we've been pulled away, this whole divide and conquer thing, is actually pulling families apart, as we know, and we won't go into all that today. But, when we come back to what's really, really important, to thrive as a species, it's about coming back together and actually really honouring the sacred role of parenting and families, the family unity, and how important it is to instill, good lessons with our children and for them to teach us as well, because
that's right.
They're coming in teaching us a lot of stuff too. But if we're not there around to be part of that
and experience it, because the growth you'll get from raising your kids, it is a two-way street. There's no question about that.
Yeah.
Going to backtrack a little bit.
Oh, really?
Okay, just on a little note there, because something you said before brought a smile to my face, because people send me memes. Everybody gets sent memes and all of that. And I got sent one just this morning, which put a smile on my face. Okay, about you talking about introverts and extroverts. And so, something like that. Anyway, there was this guy who was talking about this new fella had started working in their office, and he, there was a lot of people in the office, and he was quite introverted, but he didn't really know how to express that. So what he did is he went and sent everybody a message, an internal message, asking to borrow money after he'd been there for only 2 weeks. So he asked all these people, and then everyone avoided him like the plague.
Oh, really?
Right? And it was just a tactic, because he was so introverted. He didn't want to actually. He just didn't want to be,
around people.
Yeah.
Oh,
so by asking to borrow money, everybody gave him a nice bit of wit. So how smart is that? That is playing like 4D chess. That's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
That's great. That's really good. That's creative thinking, isn't it?
It is. Oh, my point on that is be who you are.
Yeah,
absolutely. If you are introverted, you know what? Bloody well embrace it.
Exactly. And that's what part of this Ikigai is great, because, if you're an introvert, it gives you the opportunity to actually express that, put it down, and then find things that actually fit into being an introvert, because you don't. And that's the thing, that we're having this conversation about, feeling like you're you should be out there doing these things and, public speaking, or, performing, or doing whatever it is you think that other people expect of you. Well, it's nothing. It's not about what other people expect of you. It's actually, what do you want to do? And if being out there and being larger than life isn't you, then don't do that.
No.
That's not your Ikigai.
But a lot of people feel compelled to do that, especially in the world we live right now. Instagram, this, TikTok, yada, 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 Facebook. You stop being a brand. You don't need to be a brand. You can just be you.
Exactly. Yeah. And people want to connect. So coming back, thank goodness we're going full circle and coming back now. People are actually craving connection, because that's our nature.
Of course it is.
So, if it's not you to be out there on TikTok and the Instagram and all that, then come back to being really authentically you and doing what it is that you do, and you will attract those people to you that you're meant to have around you in your life. Yeah.
And if you are that annoying person who's on TikTok and Facebook and all those sorts of things, I can't imagine people like that. Boom.
Well, some people love it, and hats off to them. That's their personality, and they're really good at it. But
I'm teasing.
Not
Look, let's face it,
I wish I could be good at that, but I'm not.
I don't agree, but I think you're very, very good at it. But it's a case of live in your lane, upsy days, and again, love it, be positive about it. But love yourself, whether you're a loudmouth or quiet, shy person.
Exactly. Yeah. And the other tool that, is also becoming really well known now is that people are doing their human design. So I don't know if you've heard about human design. I'll have to get somebody in here who actually teaches human design to tell us a bit more in depth about it, because I've only dabbled, but there's a lot to it, because once you know what your human design is, then it reveals a lot about you, and you just have aha moments, because no wonder I don't like doing that, but I love doing that. And no wonder
I'm mega curious,
because that really fits into all of this as well. So once you know your human design, then you know how you operate in the world, and it all makes sense as to why.
Now you've got me all curious. Can you get someone in next week? Because I want to know about this. This sounds pretty interesting.
Okay, put it out there. Anybody who teaches human design and would like to come on to the show, drop us a note, because I'd love to have you on here to actually share some more in depth about human design.
Yeah, to me it sounds, I don't know, a little bit.
It's based a bit on astrology, because you put in your date of birth and date and time. So it's like doing an astrology reading, but it comes out with a different kind of chart, and it tells you a lot more. So, but it is based on astrology.
Right.
It's been around for eons as well, and I think it's probably changed names. I think human design is more of a modern name for it, but it's come from more ancient texts and based in astrology.
Right. Yeah. Just had a rebrand.
Yeah,
gotcha.
I think
Fair
so.
All right. Well, we're going to wrap things up.
Yep.
Now, is there anything you would like to share that, obviously, I want to share your contact details because you run an absolutely wonderful business, which it's so good for young mums and dads who are having babies, but it's also or planning pregnancies, all of that.
But living life consciously.
I was about to say, it really is. It's far more encompassing than that. It's about
the whole soul journey. So anywhere along the journey, if anybody needs help or reconnecting with themselves or their passion or purpose or anything like that, well, give us a call.
And help's not a bad thing. Like sometimes it's just nice to have somebody hold your hand through things. Very different. And obviously from the point of view of the advocacy work that you do with babies being born, it's a very positive thing. So how can we get hold of you?
Well, I've got my website, soulbirth.com.au, or you can email me at faye@soulbirth.com.au.
Geez, it's complicated. How will I ever remember that one? Absolutely brilliant. All right, well, thank you very much, Faye.
Yeah, thank you.
That's awesome. We are going to hit the road, but sorry, you were going to say?
I encourage everybody out there to actually find your passion and live with passion and purpose if you can, because it makes the world of difference when you're living with passion.
Could not agree more. Live a life of passion. It's been Reg Radio, Soulbirth.